Alright, hey guys. So today we're going to be starting a new playthrough of Satisfactory. Now, I'd played this a little bit back in Update 3, um, and had gotten, a couple of hours in, and I really enjoyed the game, but Update 4 was just about to come out at that time. Update 4 actually came out, I think, back in April, so it's been out for quite a while, but I haven't really had a chance to play, so we're going to go ahead and get into this now. So there's quite a lot about the game that I don't know, and we'll be discovering as we go. Um, and I'm looking forward to building some really cool factories.
Chart the planet and gather resources to provide desired results and improve your infrastructure. Make sure to report any unusual discoveries to R&D for analysis. Expand your factories, outposts, and pipelines through automation and augmentation. That's it. Get to work and be effective.
That's a nice little video.
Landfall imminent. Please
This
remain seated
intro
while full procedures
reminds
are
me a
performed.
lot of
Atmospheric engine ignition.
Subnautica.
4.
I think that's kind of the vibe they were going for.
Landfall procedure initialized.
Now, I do want to talk a little bit about what I plan to do with this playthrough and with this game. Um, Obviously, the point of the game is to build as big of a factory as possible. And if you go on YouTube, there's some pretty cool videos of people doing some pretty silly stuff, making their factories as complex as possible. My goal is to play through the game and to try and build something that's really cool, really impressive, and really beautiful. Um, and so that's going to be my main goal. Now, we're not going to get straight away, because we're always going to go for functionality first and then come back and do aesthetics afterwards. And so we'll sort of be playing that balance.
Godspeed.
Now, the last time I played this, I started in the desert, but I really like the look of these grasslands, and so we're going to try starting out over here and see how this goes. But it's been close to a year since I played, so I don't really remember the controls very much.
Star system of
So we'll
activity.
figure this out.
I am Ada,
Okay,
also
can't pick
known
things
as
up
your
yet.
official directory and assistant, tasked to support pioneers, such as you, in their
Oh, and we're
mission.
on a cliff. Okay,
You have a
so
third of your sector to survive planet
I
Earth.
wonder if we
Congratulations.
should go inland or if we should go, like, I think it's pointing us down the cliff, and I think I can actually see
Welcome to
some
Onboard.
resources down there. Um, so that might be a good starting place.
Dismantle the drop pod. The resulting resources will be repurposed to construct a habitat and utility base, from now on referred to as the hub. Note: Fix it incorporated as cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste.
Okay, all right, now
All
I can pick
important
things up.
use of data and communication is
I think
recorded
this one
and
we have to
stored in the
open up the codex and then just close it again. Move on past that. I want to get the scanner and see if there's any resources behind me before I decide where to go from here.
Note:
Um,
According to Fixit
there's some more
regulations,
berries over there, so we can go pick those since we're definitely going to need food.
against
Okay, so we can sprint around with shift, and I don't think we have a stamina bar or anything in this game, so
objective.
just keep
Please
shifting
familiarize yourself with the resource
or
scanner
keep
before you
sprinting.
target.
All right,
Note:
there we go.
The acquisition of iron is considered essential in preparation for all future objectives.
So iron there, iron there, iron there. So that's all pretty close range. And nothing else is really coming up. So let's just head to the nearest node and see what we have. Okay, see it there? Now, if I remember right, all of these nodes have monsters on them, so there should be some kind of monster there. There it is. I remember you just keep jumping over these things and stabbing them. Okay, so this is an impure iron node. That's okay. We can start off on an impure iron node, and we can always move later if we need to.
Objective: build the hub. Note: to complete this objective, the resources salvaged from the drop pod will be consumed. Caution: ensure the hub is built on spacious open terrain
Okay.
close to the presence of iron sources. Failure to do so will likely result in non-optimal progress.
Yep. There's our hub. Some more berries over there.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Hub Feature Manual Craft Bench. Hub Feature Hub Terminal. Fifth objective: complete hub upgrade.
Okay.
Note: the craft bench and hub terminal are essential for progression to the next.
We need to make some routes. Just like that. Upgrade the hub there. Good. And I think we then get our next, upgrade too. That'll give us the smelter. I think what we actually need to do is build. We need to build an equipment workshop. That'll let us build the little miners. So it looks like that takes a bunch more iron. Let's go ahead and get those going.
Objective: complete hub upgrade 2. Note: portable miners require no power and will mine a node until their inventory is full. Note: multiple portable miners can be used on a single node.
Oh. Didn't make enough iron plates. So that someplace nice and accessible. Okay. So we can just walk straight in there and not have a gap there. That gap is not fallable, which is great. Okay. So now we need to make a miner, which is made with 4 rods and 2 plates. So we need to make 2 plates. All right. Now I think we can come up here to our iron ore. We can set this, and it will mine for us. Like we actually have 4 nodes right here, so that's a fair bit of iron. It's a pretty good little. Oh, where did it go? There we go. Did hit us once, but that's okay. We've got plenty of berries. Now, as I recall, we're going to want one of these miners for each of the types of stuff that we're going to find. And as well as for a to build the actual miners. So we're going to need several of those. We'll go ahead and get started just making a whole bunch of those up here. And I'll probably do some cuts ahead so that it's not, 15 minutes of me just holding down this craft button and smelting up this iron. Now we're going to start all of these on iron for right now. But then as we discover other resources, we can move those around, and we can also use them to make copper and other things. Alright, so as night falls on the first night, you can see that I've moved the hub a little bit. We needed copper, and we were just over there, not real far away, but a couple 100 yards, and there's copper just up on that ledge. And so we also found this this limestone vein here, and so having copper and limestone and some more iron right here, all much closer together, is very convenient. We're also picking up pretty much anything we can to burn up in our biomass burners. I know that the flowers have another use later on as dye, but leaves just burn so fast. So we will probably end up burning some flower petals. That's okay. Just go ahead and refill that. We've also built a smelter, a single smelter here, and this is going to make crafting so much easier because it is so much quicker to not have to, smelt the ore into the ingots before we craft with it. Okay, so we got. We'll have to smell. No, actually, we should have enough. Let's. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Our next, we can grab our next one, which is plates. A lot of plates, some cables, and some concrete. Now, I had the foresight to put down one of my miners on some concrete here, so we have, or on some limestone there. So we have plenty of limestone there, so we can do, we need 10 concrete. And we'll go ahead and make just a little bit extra. See, so we're going to want some power poles, so that'll take a concrete, a rod, and some wiring. Fortunately, we have that. We can do that, and connect that there and there. And then our other new building is the constructor, which takes 8 cables. Let's see. Constructor, 8 cables and 2 of the reinforced iron plate, which is 6 plates and 12 screws. Okay, so we're going to need more ingots. So let's go ahead and do that. So we need 8 plates. Reinforced iron plate actually takes 6, so we need 2 of these reinforced plates, so that's 12 plates, not 8. Go. And screws. 24 screws should do it. Got those iron plates. Done. And then we needed 2 more cables. Well. Yeah, okay, so we can hold control to snap this to the grid. And if we see those are in alignment there, then that is done. And I think soon we'll unlock conveyor belts and we'll be able to connect these up. But for now, we can turn this to making plates and drop off some ingots. Just need to power it. There we go. So capacity is 20 and we are using 4 or 8. Alright, so that is done. Now we need 20 more cables, and we have 24. Should have just enough copper to do that. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of, and then we're going to have to run over and make another trip to pick up some more copper, and we'll probably want to get some additional smelters set up as well. My experience in games like this is whenever you have the option of automating, you always want to, and that's going to be something that's particularly critical in the early game. And then once we get past the point where things are sort of more automated and we have a little bit more flexibility in what we're doing. Let's see if we can deposit these things. A ton more iron plates. So let's see that. Now let's go get some more of our. This game is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. It's just stunning to see some of this stuff. Oh, some up there. So we're actually gonna dash on up to our copper miner as well and gather that, so that it can continue mining while we wait for our machine to build more plates. Go ahead and some more plants and things up here. I actually really like the way the world is laid out and the natural look of the game. Obviously, a lot of that's going to be cleared out to make factories, but I also think that gives us some really good aesthetic opportunities that I want to try and take advantage of as we build some of our factories a little later. Okay, so we can just jump straight down from that ledge. All right, so how are we doing on plates? 22 more plates, good. Drop some more iron. Good. Oh, and we should grab our concrete as well. All right. So we are going to help out with these iron plates a bit. Oh, this is out of resources, so we'll give resources. And just make up some iron to get through these plates a little bit faster. Make 11 more, which we have 12 there. Perfect. And done. All right. Upgrade 5 gives us the miner, which will be nice. So I think upgrade 4 gave us conveyor belts. So we can do that now. Which means that all we need to do is provide ore to this. Okay. So we are using 8 of our 20 here, so I think that means we can make another smelter and constructor for iron rods, because that will help speed that along. We could also do a constructor for concrete, which could be nice. Let's see. Conveyor belts, conveyor poles. Nothing new there. Nothing new there. Okay, so that really conveyor belts are all we have. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and set up another smelter and constructor, and then another, I think just a constructor there. So we need, so let's see what, if we can do this. We need smelter, add to to-do list. Oh, there we go. We got the plus and minus there. Okay. So that tells us all the ingredients we need to build those, and then we're also going to need some things to set them up. So let's go back in there, and for power we're going to need at least 3 cables. Let's call it 5 cables and another power pole, and that gives us a full list of all the sort of ingredients we need. All right, so let's get started with our iron rods. We're only going to need 6 of those, but we're going to need a bunch more to make screws. So let's just go ahead and make 24. 25 is good. And then I think we're going to need a total of 48 screws. So we can make those up. And then we can make up the reinforced iron plates. That will be a good chunk of that done. Let's see. We got the concrete, we need cable wire, we got plenty of rods. Okay, so we need to smelt up copper then. And that's the other option. Instead of using the concrete, we can smelt up the copper into wire. I'm planning to do that as soon as we have enough power to support it, but I think the concrete is something we want to start making early because we are going to be using a ton of it. And the sooner we can start sort of having access to that, the better. So we want 21 for that, plus another 6, so we should be good. All right. All these into wire. Make a bunch of cable out of it. And we may have to make a little bit more cabling. It's hard to tell because sometimes the wires between the things use two, and sometimes you can do it with one. Okay, so then here we need a smelter, just like that. And we're probably going to be rebuilding all of this very shortly. So this is going to be iron again. Put that in there. And you will be making iron rods. And then we take the wire and connect that there, and connect that there. And then the constructor here. And so this constructor will be making concrete out of limestone. And we can just hook that up as well. So that should have our thing running at full capacity here. And it's, gosh, it's just using up those leaves so fast. 80 per minute, it's ridiculous. But it's also helping us progress quickly, so that's good. All right, pop up here, grab some more iron. Go. And it just occurred to me, because we maxed out our power here, we may not be able to build our miner machine straight away. That's probably okay. I think we'll survive that. Let's see. Okay, so that is using that up. So we'd actually run out of iron there, and so it slowed things down a bit. We can grab some rods out of there, pop some more iron into our smelters real quick, just make sure they're topped up. And let's get to it. So we need, let's see, what do we need to finish this? We need concrete, cable, and iron rods. We need 13 more concrete. Let's see if that's available. So it is. We can top that up as well. Alright, the cabling we're going to have to make by hand, but we do have enough copper to do it, so let's go ahead and get that going. And, yeah. I wish we could clear our to-do list while we're crafting these up. I think we have to go into our build menu to do that. Right. Turn these into wiring. Cable looks like we're going to be just a few short. I thought we had a few more than we did. It's okay. Alright, cable is done. It is done. Iron rods. There's 27 there. So we need 26 more. That is another one all done and dusted. Let's see. How long have we been? So we are at 33 minutes in this game world. We're doing really well. We're on the last one. Okay. Alright, so we need 100 rods, 100 plates, 100 wire, and 50 concrete. That should be pretty easy.
Congratulations. You have unlocked
Oh, and we did get our second biomass burner here.
building
Let's go ahead.
feature additional
Yeah, those we'll use flowers for that second burner for now until we can get proper biomass.
note.
Which I think we should get with this one, right? If we look at that'll let us create biomass, which is a much better way to do this. And then what we can do there is that off. I probably should have thought this out a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to need some wiring and some cabling. Should have the rest. We might need a couple more irons as well. What we're going to do is set up another power pole right there. Let's hook that into both of these and plug that in there. And so this can actually act as a way for us, now that we have the power, we can actually bring iron from up here, from that power pole. Let's see, how much power? So a miner takes 5, so we can have, let's think about this. If we set up 2 miners, we might do 1 miner up here. Gosh. 2 miners, that's 10. And then we could have a miner smelter. We'd still have to craft all the wire by hand, though. Or we could do a smelter and constructor to make the wire for. Let's do a smelter and constructor to make the copper for us. And then 2 iron miners to provide to these 2 smelters. All right, so what does a miner take? It's 10 concrete, 10 plates, and a portable miner. Right. So we need a bunch of plates. This needs some more iron to keep going. This guy's probably running low on iron as well. Give him that. Grab up some rods. And then we need some concrete. Come over here. Just make sure we're constantly shifting our machines forward. And let's do this. Let's get these 2 iron machines supplied with iron ore. And so, right, we still need our portable miners. We can just pick up here since we won't need to be mining any more iron by hand. So we'll point that miner right about there. That should be okay. And then we take the conveyor belts, bring that there, and that's too I don't like that. And we don't have the vertical conveyor belts yet. There we go. So it's a little roundabout, but it'll do the job. And then the second one up here, just like so. Can do something similar. And that one is not too steep. Just, we need some cabling. Okay. Let's pop down here and make some cabling. Perfect. Can connect power line to each of our 2 miners. That should do it. And the cool thing about this is now we have this as a ramp to run up to check on our miners up here, to pick some flowers and more leaves. There we go. All right, so the other sort of auto setup we wanted to do here, let's pick up some more flower petals, is the copper. We wanted a smelter and a constructor for wire, and we'll have to handcraft the cable and then add in a miner once we get the ability to generate a little bit more power later. It's okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, we're going to need a smelter and a constructor. So I think we are going to, we're going to have to go get more copper. I don't think we have quite enough. We can gather up things as we run though, so make sure we have plenty of fuel for our stuff to be powered. Now, I believe that plants and things will respawn if they're a certain distance away from buildings. So it's not that big of a deal for us to wipe this stuff out. Because if we need more flowers, there's, number one, there's plenty of them. Like, they're all over the place. And number two, we can always find a flower field someplace and then just not build within a few hundred yards of it. And, pick it dry. And then after a few in-game days, come back and it should all have respawned. I believe how that works. And as you can see, it's not like there's a shortage of flower petals. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure our... Oh, we are just about out of fuel there, and doing a lot better there. Those flower petals last a while. All right. So let's pop in here, and we need to make iron rods, screws, and get 2 reinforced iron plates. Done. And we need copper. And we're going to do a whole bunch of extra copper because we're going to be, again, have to have the power infrastructure for all this, the extra towers and cables and so on and so forth for all this. And again, we're doing a really sort of rough job here. This will all be cleaned up once we have power a little bit more established. One of the things that is challenging about the early game is just how much of a time crunch you're on because of how hard it is to gather the biofuels. Once we get the ability to make a little bit more efficient fuel, both as soon as we finish this upgrade, and then also as soon as we have smelter, constructor. And because these aren't on level terrain, I'm going to separate them out a bit so that we can make sure our conveyor is able to connect up. Built the smelter facing in the wrong direction though. Go. So we want green pointed towards our there. And that way when we get the miner, that miner conveyor can just come right on over this hill and down here. Okay, so we're going to need a power pole here to connect those up. And then set up the settings on them to smelt copper. Put a bunch of ore in there. And turn that into wire. And then we need to connect this to one of our power structures over here. So that one's full. That one we could do. About the one over here. That one's full. So it's got to be that guy. Alright, so that should be working now. Alright, so we got plenty of plates. Let's see how we're doing on rods. Plenty of rods, good. And last but not least, not plenty of concrete, but that's alright. We can gather some more and craft up some of that to finish that out. And then we are going to have to go and get some copper because I don't think we have quite enough inside our smelter system there. So as I was saying, once we're able to build a little bit more freely because we have sort of our power concerns taken care of, then we'll tidy all this up and make it much more palatable. We're always going to start our factories in this playthrough in this sort of roughshod manner, getting them functional first and then working out the aesthetics later. And part of the reason for that is that working out the aesthetics takes a long time. It can be very time consuming to figure out how you want something to look. Whereas generally just sort of setting it up to get it working is quite a bit simpler and faster. And so by prioritizing that, we can get things up and running, and then while it's working in the background, go through the necessary process to make it pretty and take as much time as we want to do that. Alright, let's see. So we need a bit more wiring here. And some more concrete as well. Let's actually finish out the concrete, and that will give us a chance to get grab the last little bit of wire we need from our constructor over there. There you go. All right, and that should do it for the tutorial section. I think that this will wrap up the tutorial, and it'll bring down our little spaceship. And so now we're into the main game. So I think that's where we'll wrap this one up. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to doing some really cool stuff with this. And if you guys have any thoughts or suggestions, just let me know.